Oh,
I might,
oh.
it might pull my card for this one.
Nah, they ain't gonna pull
Nah,
your
but
card,
hey,
dog.
at the end of the day, I'm a college football fan first, right? Uh, been kind of looking at some of the stuff Florida's been doing. Again, like I said, we got them first game of the season. You know, playing. Going up there to play. And I'm just kind of looking at it because obviously we gonna make jokes, right? We're gonna make jokes about the Mertz Mafia. I call Billy Napier G5 Billy. Like we're gonna let it fly. But just but looking at it from a team perspective, and I've said this on my guy Coach Hayes show. And I said that the thing of it is that we can look at the schedule, but are we really looking at the roster? And I think most people feel like Florida is going to be a team. When you look at their schedule, like they have like one of the most brutal schedules, like probably in the modern era. Like
Mm,
they have a murderer's row. I don't know if I can say that word on here, but they have a monster schedule. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? But I may actually I may actually feel like they could win 7 games. Now
Ooh.
it's not gonna be
Huh?
they not winning the first game of the season. So let's get that understood right now. They're not winning the first game of the season. But going back and looking at what Graham Mertz did, I believe he tossed about 20 touchdowns, had less than 10 interceptions. Obviously, they lost ETN. This is the third year because I think one of the things that kind of clouds the whole overall situation is the fact that, for first of all, I don't feel like they should have fired Dan Mullen, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit up here and argue that. But I do think they have a nice. I do think they have a nice. I do think they have a nice team, and I'm not. And I just didn't pick them because they picked up Kamani McClain either. I think they have a nice. I think they have a nice. They have a nice young team, and to be honest, I mean, for what they have or what they didn't have in terms of how devoid that I'm using Kane fan logic here. How Dan Mullen left the program in terms of devoid of talent. To me, I think if they've gone 6 and 7 the past 2 years, right, and you've had to play the University of Georgia every year, you've had to play Missouri or Kentucky and things like that. I could actually see them. Well, not no 5 and 7 because they haven't gone to a bowl game, but I think they can make a bowl game this year, right?
Mm.
I wouldn't be surprised with a bowl victory for them to be on the fringe of winning about 7 games or maybe even 8. Just depends on how the cookie crumbles because with the way things are now, injury, you get hot, depending on how things go. Again, I
Right.
was just looking at obviously because we played in the first game, so I was just kind of looking at their staff. So I see they hired as a I guess a defensive assistant, the defensive coordinator Billy Napier had while he was at his previous job. I was kind of looking at his resume. It looks pretty solid. Nothing that's just out of this world, but it looks pretty solid. They got a young outfit, defensive coordinator, the defense
Mm-hmm.
coach that they hired. I think he was he the DB? Yeah, he was the DB coach at Washington. I think they said you got like 8 guys drafted. Now, obviously, resume doesn't look as good as Corey Raymond, but again, being a Kane fan, sometimes the best resume isn't always the best fit because
Right.
some guys, and this is no not the Corey Raymond, but some guys may be best when they are in ideal situations, and some guys may be best when it's time to try to kind of build it. And
Touch on that a little bit. What's the ideal situation? Just touch on that a little bit, just to explain
I mean,
to a casual what an ideal situation would be. A quick example.
like I take Corey Raymond for example, right? And again, like I said, I always try to look at things in perspective. Well, not perspective, but I try to look at things, from a chronological standpoint. Corey Raymond was not the defensive back coach when LSU was being built. He was
Right.
a de- he
Exactly.
became a defensive back coach after LSU had been built, and so they were already a pipeline or a dream school. That's a phrase that people still use. They're already a dream school for a lot of high profile players. So obviously, Corey Raymond probably very relatable to those young men, and he was able to get them to commit because, for one, you're in the SEC, you're one of the best teams in the SEC, and y'all had some good defensive backs before Corey Raymond got there, and he just continued on that particular legacy. So I think some guys be in an ideal situation, and not to turn this into a Miami thing, but I mean, we had some coaches on our
Let's
first
do it.
staff that probably were more adept or at that point in their career that's like, I've done the rebuilding thing. I've done that. I'm not necessarily trying to, do that again. I'm more so when I need to be in a win now situation. I'll take this check. I'll take the check, no doubt. But more so, I'd rather be in a more ideal situation. So that's kind of how I look at Florida. You know what I mean? And again, it's just that. I mean, it's just that third year. Again, like I said, I have to be a football fan first. I can't let my fandom, be the end all. And
Right.
they just picked up a nice receiver, I believe, from Arizona State. So I mean,
Mhm.
they have some weapons. The Eugene Wilson guy, who they're in love with. So I mean, I think they offensively they should be better. Defensively, I don't necessarily know, but I do think that Florida is an underrated team. They
Mhm.
have a brutal schedule, but I think if they are able to pull out 7 games in this particular schedule, maybe 8, depending on how the shoot, depending on how it falls, that would be a that would be a phenomenal that would be a phenomenal accomplishment,
Yeah, it would.
right?
Yeah, it would. Yeah,
But
it would.
and this is gonna be a segue to my second team. If they fall flat on their face, I see the head coach of my second underrated team being a hot candidate for that job.
Mm,
I love
mm,
Ken, I love Kenny Dillingham.
mm.
Was a
Yeah. I
co-offensive
feel you.
coordinator with Mike Norvell at Florida State. Was able to do some great things. Went over there to the University of Oregon with Dan Lanning, helped transform Bo Nix into what, the 7th overall pick in the draft this past draft.
Yeah, yeah. Bo Nix. Yeah. I
Left
mean,
there, went to Arizona State. All the quarterbacks got hurt. Like every quarterback got hurt. And they still were in pretty much every one of their games. Now again, that's I can't obviously you can't give all of the praise to the head coach. You
right.
got to look at it from the staff standpoint. But that is to me that is a good mark for him.
Yeah, they got a good program going on over there.
Yeah, because it's like you are a first time head coach and you went to a program that I mean they weren't in the dweller in the cellar because obviously Herm Edwards they had a nice little staff over there. Got into some trouble. Um, Antonio Pierce, who's the head coach of my Raiders, was the defensive coordinator over there for a short time over there. So, but the work that he's done has been I mean they're doing a great job. And like I said, at
Great
Florida
job.
State, I think he will be a
Great
candidate.
job.
But I think Arizona State is going to be a team that is going to be they're gonna make some noise, and I think it's gonna be because Kenny Dillingham. This will be the second year. Whatever quarterback they have, obviously Rashada, he
You got a
transferred.
question. You got a question. Hi, LMV. What's up? What's going on? You got a question from QB. He said, does he have an alpha QB? Go ahead and answer the question, man.
I no, I know what they doing. I know what they
Well,
doing. We're gonna talk about all that tomorrow on the
tomorrow
Canes Round Table.
on
They
Kane's
gonna
Round
love. They
Table.
gonna
All
love.
right.
They gonna love the title of the show. They gonna love the title.
Okay. So you're gonna love it. Y'all make sure y'all tuning in, man, to the Kane's Round Table, man, tomorrow, man. You're gonna bring that up. You're gonna answer that. What up, Daryl Page? What up? What's going on? What's good? Max in the building, everybody up in there. Hey, yo, look. So what's your last with Kansas, man? I like that pick though. I like that pick with Arizona State. I like that. I do. I think they're being slept on. What's up with Kansas?
Yeah, I remember I was at a hotel because my truck was in the shop and I was sitting there watching the game and like Devin Neal was going bananas. Like he was going crazy. Like I was having a chat with somebody. I was like, bro, this is what's over here in Kansas. They like, bro, over here in Kansas. So I was like, bro, I didn't even know he was giving it up like that.
Yeah,
So like, they got a good head coach again. Another like look how I'm giving Florida backhanded compliments. Again, fall flat in the face. There goes another coach that probably could go over there and help the Gators.
you think so? You
I'm
think
just
so?
but no, all jokes aside, Kansas is the second favorite or the third favorite, I believe. Yeah, third favorite behind Kansas State and Utah to win the Big 12. And I just think to me that's a slap in the face. Again, it's even bigger slap in the face that Oklahoma State is not the favorite to win it. But
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about it. But I do
yeah.
think that Kansas is in a prime position, right? The work that they've done in the short period of time that they've been over there, has been phenomenal. I think them being able to keep a running back who quite possibly could have left and got a big bag at any of these other premier universities.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I think that's a telling point that those guys believe that there's something going on over there that's good. And I do think that Kansas will be a team. Now, I'm not saying they well, you know what? I have to say it because if you win the Big 12, you get an automatic bid in the playoffs. So Kansas,
That's a fact.
Kansas. Hey, listen, don't be surprised you see the Kansas Jayhawks in the playoffs.
Man, all right. Whoo, bold prediction. Bold prediction. Bold prediction. I like that. I like that. I like them bold predictions. So this is, I mean, before we get on up out of here, I'm gonna give y'all my underrated. These are my underrated teams in college football. Go ahead, get your laughs out right now. Get them out because y'all know how I do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But anyway, Baylor. All right, so we're gonna start with Baylor, man. Baylor under Dave Aranda, right? Is that how I pronounce it? Did I pronounce it right? Did I get it? All right.
Aranda.
Aranda don't matter. All right.
Hey, don't
Yeah.
you mind?
So obviously we know they was 2-7 last year in the conference, 3-9 overall. They got to get better than that, right? They have to be better than that. Everybody, there's a lot of people out there that's expecting them to be exactly where they were last year in the Big 12. That is not going to happen this year with Baylor. It ain't. I'm so huge on the Quan Finn. I talk about the Quan Finn so much, man.
Yeah, you talk about it. You love him.
I do, man, because I don't think he got the chance to showcase his talents against a Power 5 team just yet. Like the way that he plays the game, and like now he gets this chance to prove himself. I hope that he proves himself right, you know what I mean? And like so they ain't bragging, oh, Truck and Chubby said this, but but the Quan Finn coming, man, he definitely coming. A kid from Toledo. He played over there with Quinyon Mitchell, one of the best cornerbacks in college. He was the best cornerback. He was the first cornerback pulled off the board. The Quan Finn was thrown against him up at Toledo. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. The kid know how to ball. 6'2" from Detroit. I know y'all got to know the name by now because I talk about him like every other show. But anyhow, they said there was some kind of thing going on with the two quarterbacks up there. Sawyer Robinson, I believe the kid's name is, and you got the Quan. But look, you got Pendergrass running the rock, Reese. They about to do something. They got to be better than what they were last year, and they are going to ruin a lot of seasons. Them making a bowl game is it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. Now, I'm not sitting here saying Baylor are going to go to the college football playoff. They're going to win 9-10 games in this season. No, I'm saying that they're going to go to a bowl game. I believe that strongly, and they're going to upset a lot of people out there that picking against them. They're probably going to upset one of the top teams in the Big 12 this year with the play of the Quan Finnock quarterback. I'm telling y'all that right now. And I think we seen in my opinion, this is just my opinion here. This is just me speculating on this. The wide receivers we seen leave and jump into the portal from Baylor, I believe that's happening only because of the uncertainty at quarterback. Some guys want the Quan Finn to play, but I guess they were saying during the spring or whatever. It was just rumors. I don't know it to be true, but I got to tell y'all what it is. the quarterbacks didn't know what it was. So that's why you seen RJ Martinez jump in the portal with the other receivers that just jumped in here. The only two that actually stayed after that, I believe, was Sawyer Robinson and Daquan. And I think there's another guy that got upgraded, but I don't think they were going with RJ Martinez. But look, there might be a couple different packages. The two running backs they got are well enough to run the ball right now, and they're really not. Look, they're pretty solid organization under Dave. You know what I'm saying? Or Randa, whatever you pronounce his last name. To me, I think they're going to do a lot better, and I think they're underrated. So yeah, they're definitely one of the teams to watch out for to me. All right, and Cal. Garrett Green, not Garrett Green, they but West Virginia. I get those colors mixed up sometimes so much. But look, Kyle, look, Jay and I, he coming back. He's coming back. They got a rookie running back. Can't remember his name. Help me out there, bro. He was going off. Look, Kyle's gonna be all right. They can't do much worse than what they was last year. And to be honest, Cal really wasn't as bad as a lot of people thought they were in the Pac-12. They really weren't. Fun, it's like some things. What are they under? Justin Wilcox, right? That's their head coach over there at Cal, I believe. Help me out there. Justin Wilcox. Okay, Justin Wilcox is their head coach, right? They was 4-5 in the conference. Look, 6-7 overall. The two games that I really want to point out to y'all, and I know I'm picking and choosing on what games, but in the Pac-12, UCLA had NFL talent on that defense. They were pretty good last year. I believe they underachieved. If you ask me, to be honest, UCLA did. They absolutely dominated UCLA. Cal did 33-7, absolutely dominated them. Took them to the schoolyard. You know what I mean? And then USC, they only lost to USC last year. It was a 1-point game, 49-50, something like that, 48-49, something. It was a 1-point game. Y'all correct me in the comments with that, but it was a 1-point game. They lost to them. They beat Stanford. They lost to Texas Tech, but those, I don't know if those,
50, huh? 50, yeah, it was 1 point, 50-49.
Okay, yeah, 1 point, right. And look, they coming to the ACC. A lot of people just like, oh, Cal, man, here they come. They ain't gonna do too much. But look, they gonna have either the same exact season as they had in the ACC or better. And I think they're a good ad for the ACC. They just not one of them teams that you go in there and sleep on. They're an underrated team to me just because of that fact, because people sleep on them. Now, moving on to my last one, last but not least, I must talk about them, Michigan State. And I know a lot of some people out there, y'all gonna say, damn, Trucking, why would you say Michigan State? This might got some of y'all confused out there, right? Why Michigan State? Michigan State, they look, they're 73 out of the 134 teams with returning production. And you could say what's that's roughly 60%. Cal got their 41. I know we talking about something else, but look, they got 60% of their shit coming back. They lost a ton of people to the portal. Some people say they're portal losers or not. But you got to remember, everybody who's jumping in the portal this late after spring ball are probably down on the depth chart, correct? So they're losing people, but they're not losing a lot of their starters, okay? And I must remind y'all that. Now, they got their head coach coming over from Oregon, John Smith, is that guy. I like John Smith and what he did over at Oregon State last year, not Oregon. I gotta say Oregon State, but Oregon State. Yeah, right. I like what Oregon State did under him, man, under John Smith. They were a tough team. To me, if DJ Ugly Game ain't there, they win more. That's all I'm saying. Because look, for real. If Ugly Game ain't there, bro, like you got Damian Martinez in the backfield, right? You playing, who was they playing last year, man? Somebody help me out in the chat, bro. They was playing Arizona State. They was playing Arizona. They was playing Arizona Jadfish. They was playing the Wildcats. And the score was they lost to him by 3 points, 24-27. But if y'all could remember, Damian Martinez had like 18 carries, 80 something yards, somewhere in there. I just off top. And you can compare him to dominating that game. They had no answer for Damian Martinez. I've had no answer for him, but they kept wanting to put the game in DJ Ugly Gamey's hands. They kept wanting to put the ball game in his hands for some reason. I do not know, because and I know the reason, because Noah Favita and McMillan was killing them. That connection was killing them. And they were trying to say, okay, let's pass. I do not know why John Smith got into that match. I guarantee you this. I will bet on this. If somebody was able to ask John Smith if he could have that game back, would he have put the ball in Damian Martinez's hands? I guarantee you he get 100%. I should have just ran with Martinez through the whole game. They lost by 3 that game, but look, they should have had a way better record. And that just goes to show how highly I'm thinking of John Smith going over to Michigan State. The expectations of them, look, it ain't that high, right? He's taken over a program that was absolutely just last in the Big Ten, but they're going to come in and people overlooking them because of all the hype out there on a lot of the media. They're transfer portal losers, everybody they lost. He's a good head coach. He knows how to build toughness. The Big Ten is built on toughness. They got their QB. They got their backs. Watch out for Michigan State under John Smith. They're an underrated team. They will put up some wins. And before I go ahead and on out of here and close out, the Oregon Beavers, right? Back in November, they only lost to the national champion runner-ups by 2 points, 20-22, under John Smith. If he had a better quarterback last year, they're doing a lot better than me. That's all I'm saying in closing out. But look, Michigan State, y'all, they're underrated. Do not get caught up in all that media, that mainstream media hype with this team. They got a good head coach, a great staff over there, great tradition up in Michigan State, great fans, and they're going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot better. Let's just say that. Now, I want to ask you a question. What are you thinking about Noah Favita, bro? What do you think about that hookup, Noah Favita and McMillan, bro? Because I've been seeing some videos with McMillan doing some crazy-ish and Favita. Like, do you think that Noah Favita is one of the best quarterbacks in college football? Where would you put him?
I mean, he got to be. I mean, they popped on the scene. That connection. I mean, and he still got the other guy. What is Cowan? So, I mean, he got like 2 weapons. So, I mean, they're gonna be nice.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're gonna be nice.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they were being close to being on my underrated list. Also, I believe Arizona was, but seeing the season they had last year, it was just like, how could I put them on the underrated list? Because the expectations of them doing what they doing, but I don't know, man. What you think about my underrated teams, man? I know you think something of them. I know you got something. That's why I sent you the list. I said, let me send them the list because I know he's gonna critique. Go ahead and give it to me.
Right. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy about the Michigan State thing, right? I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. Because I found this radio show that I listened to on YouTube, and the guys that Michigan State alum.